Hi there, folks. Simon here. This is Tones and Klimace in the finals of the 2023 January Beginner Tag Tournament. We are going to see an awesome game here. This is game one with Tones in white, Klimace in black. This is played on a 6x6 board with 15 minutes on the clock, 10 seconds increment, meaning 10 seconds gets added to your time after every move, and zero Comey. And if you don't know what Comey is, it doesn't matter because we're not using it. So we are good to go, ready to jump right into this game one. This is a two-game match, and the winner of this match wins the whole tournament. So let's jump right in to game one of Tones versus Klimace. All right, we see that unorthodox opening out of Tones. We've seen him do that a number of times, where he places this off corner position, which, if you're new to tech, that is a very, very different opening. You always place your opponent in the corner, but he doesn't do that. So, a little interesting here. And then we see Tones jumping in right ahead, playing right next to his opponent's piece after being placed in the far corner. Very, very, I'm going to say against the grain, against the meta here. He plays very differently. But we are seeing Klimace go straight for that center control. Wants to get control of the center here, which is really smart because if the game doesn't end super quickly, that center control is going to be a pivotal point in this whole game. Now, I imagine we're going to see a capstone drop here pretty soon. White might decide to drop it here. If not, black might drop it there at C2 as well. Both really solid positions for a capstone. And we do talk about how best to place your capstone in that capstones video of TAC University. And playing it early is one of those main guidelines that we talk about. We do see a flat. A flat here does work as well. This does maintain the momentum of white here. White is building for that horizontal road. Black can cut that off pretty easily, but they're just content to play these flats up above. White likely going to be making an anchor point here at A2 or potentially playing over at E2. If white does play at A2, I would not be surprised to see black play at E2 to sort of cut that off, and then white dropping the capstone here up at E3. We are seeing him play at E2 instead. Now black, if I were black, I'd be playing at A2 here. That makes the most sense to me. Yeah, does drop the A2. This works for black because it cuts off that line that white has, since white can't immediately renew by placing down or up like they would be if they had placed at F2, for example. White could just play at E3 or E1, something like that to renew. But in this case, white would have to make a capture over here in order to continue that horizontal line. Additionally, black can go for a vertical line here using this A2 spot. So this piece here at A2 works really, really well for black. It was a really good placement. Now, if I'm black, I'm probably going to be playing up at A3. Because, oh, he's not going for it. It looks like he's playing for that vertical, knowing that he's eventually going to come right with A2. That's actually not a bad move either. Being able to anticipate that you're going to have to come over. If white plays up at A3 or A1, you're just going to move that right. And that's exactly what he does, moving towards that vertical threat. White immediately drops that capstone, and that's the move to make here. And honestly, if I'm white, I'm going to make the typically bad move of moving that capstone right over, and that's exactly what Klimace does. You typically don't want to make those essentially zero FCD moves, like moving that capstone over to the right, but it's worth it. However, now black has to move that capstone out of the black has to move that stack out of the way. I think white may be tempted to just drop a flat here at C2 or bring that capstone up. And that's exactly what happens. The capstone comes up, chases that stack, knowing that they're going to have that stack, and that's going to do good work for him. Black throws that stack down, which is the smart move. Now white can't really chase it. I think C2 would have worked out a lot better there. It would have forced that threat and forced a response from black instead of chasing that stack. So now if I'm white, I might just play here at C3 and continue that way. So a flat at C3 would be good. It wouldn't be a threat, but it would stop black from building for this vertical quite so quickly. Also, it would set white up to be able to play at B2 for the threat on the following turn. White now taking his time. Ooh, decides to drop a wall instead. Really wants that C1 stack. Clearly wants that C1 stack a lot. Now I think black might be dropping a capstone here at C3. Yep, that's exactly what happens. And that capstone now is going to be a problem for white. I think we're going to see this wall come left onto the stack, and then maybe that capstone will come down and chase it. That could happen. But black may also just decide to play... Okay, white plays at B2 first. Now black's playing up at D5 to go for the threat. Now white comes over with the wall. Will black come down with the capstone? Or will black play down at D1? No, probably not D1. Yeah, it is going to go for D1. Interesting plays. I think you got to take the top 3 of this stack. Oh, just like Aliana is saying in the chat here, got to bring those to the right. Maybe just the top 2. No, yeah, top 3. I think top 3 is better. Or maybe 3 C1, right 1, 2. That way you maintain that threat. Yeah, 3 C1, right 1, 2 is attack threat. And I think that's probably what white wants to do here. Now, this is also attack threat. I feel like this is probably the safer move. So white can come up with C1 and make a road here. So black's probably going to want to capture right with B1, but if he does that, then white captures left and renews the threat. I think we're going to see black come right or come down maybe with the capstone. That capstone coming down, I feel like almost has to happen at some point. Yeah, I feel like the capstone coming down is a solid move. I don't know if now's the right turn to make it, however. No, comes right with that flat. Now this is where white's probably going to take this stack, bring 41 left, 2, 2. And if you're wondering what the heck is he talking about when he says 41 left, 2, 2, that is portable tack notation, as you can see off to the left here. That is a way that we have to talk about moves and describe them and write them down in tack, and there is a video on that called PTN, or Portable Tack Notation, on Tack University. It's also described fairly easily in text format on the ustac.org website, which is the U.S. TAC Association. Basically, it's how many pieces you're picking up, from what coordinate, what direction, and how many you're dropping in each spot. And that's it. That's how you do it. So in this case, this is no longer attack threat. Black does come down with that capstone. White could have made attack threat here, but did not. Now black's got that capstone down. It's a hard cap. White might decide to drop a flat at c3. If white flats at c3, black cannot smash, because black would lose to a road here. So white can sort of defend this stack by dropping a flat at c3. They probably won't, however. Likely they're going to move this stack somewhere else, probably to the left. Probably 3c1 left, but I like c3. Does go for c3. Tones plays the c3. This protects it, so black cannot smash this stack on c1. If he does, he leaves behind the black flat, and then c3 comes down, makes the road. So now black's got to think about, okay, how am I going to stop all this from happening? Black plays a flat on this side. Okay, now black is probably thinking, okay, white can't do this, make a threat down here, so I want to play at e1. Yeah, so black wants to play at e1 so he can toss this capstone to the right and make this threat over this way. So white probably wants to stop black from playing at e1, so white wants to play at e1, so black can't make that threat. Or white just switches gears, plays at f3, and goes for the vertical on this side. I think that's a little too risky. I would personally play at e1 here to stop black, because black clearly wants to play at e1. Clearly wants to play there. Also, if black does decide to come down with e3, then you got e1 to come up and cover that. So e1 is played by white. I think that's a smart move here. However, if black decides to cut down with e3 and white comes up with e2, that's a good enough reason to take that capstone to the right and capture onto that e2 stack. Then black has more power, cuts off all of white's ability over here. This whole horizontal threat is basically toast after that point. And it looks like that's kind of what black's going for here. It looks like he's trying to make this connection up at d6, and then he might come down with e3. Yeah, I think this is going to be pretty good. If he... Oh, I think it's Tinue. If he brings 2c2 to the right onto d2. However, white can stop that from happening. No, it isn't Tinue, because white can throw the capstone to the right onto d3. So not Tinue, because that capstone throw can come over onto d3. It would stop that. But it's very close. Let's see. But b1 is not bad there for white. Neither is e4. I personally wouldn't want to throw that capstone, so I'd probably play b1 here. b1 prevents it without having to make the capstone throw. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Now, one thing to point out about Klimace is Klimace, while he hasn't been part of the online community for very long, and that he wasn't part of the Discord or anything like that, he has been playing on Playtac for a long time. and he has played against bots for a long time. He has over 2,000 games. I know you're saying, but this is a beginner tournament. Yes, it's a beginner tournament, but the the cutoff is a skill level thing, not a number of games. So, ooh, that wall coming here is able to come left now at a d4 to really cut that off. So Klimace was able to do this, but he's played 2,000 plus games against bots, meaning that Black is very, very accustomed to finding Tinue. And that's exactly what he's trying to do in this game and what I've seen him do in other games. He likes to try to find Tinue because that's really the only way to beat a bot is to get it with Tinue. And so while you might be able to do a sneaky win against a human, if you're only used to playing bots, you're only going to go for Tinue. And I think that is something that Klimace really excels at, is finding these Tinues. And I know that in the previous match I saw with Klimace, he won both games with Tinue. So that is definitely something he wants to do. Now, White is completely shutting down all of Black's vertical road capabilities here. And that is going to be pretty brutal for him. I wonder if... Now, hear me out. I wonder if you take... No, that wouldn't work. I was thinking of... you might be able... Maybe if you take 3d2 minus, you could do something with that. But I think you would want to do that first. Play at f3, so you got this sort of horizontal anchor point. Now White's making a threat. Now you could come down with the whole stack. Or you could place a wall here at c2 as Black. I like a wall at c2 as Black, actually. Because what you could do is you could wall c2 to stop the threat, and then you could self-smash, maintain the hard capstone, and threaten this stack at the same time. That's actually not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. Wouldn't really be threatening this stack because smashing it would probably would like lead to a road or something, or close to it. Okay, he brings that all the way down. I was wondering about that, but White is probably going to just drop a flat here at d2 to keep Black from smashing. But if White drops a flat at d2, Black just takes 3d1 plus? Maybe? I don't know. I don't think that really helps too much. It's more of a thrash move. So yeah, d2 works very, very well for White here because it stops this wall smash, also makes a threat, forces a move out of Black. But instead, White plays... That doesn't make any sense at all. Now Black has to smash this. Yeah, I'm very confused by the placement at b4. Not going for d2? What is the plan here? Is it that White has momentum even with the smash? I guess so, but I mean, you can cut it off pretty easily. Yeah, you gotta be smashing this. However, we have noticed that Klimace is very, very patient when it comes to setting up Tinues. And he may be looking for a way to set this up so he's not behind on anything. Now he's going to be making attack threat on the following turn, I'm guessing. My best bet is that we're going to see either a d2 placement from Black or a spread left, depending on what White does. If White decides to play up at b5, Black's going to spread left here, which is a threat in the horizontal direction for Black. And here, it's no current threat for white. White could drop a flat at d2, of course, but that would just get covered up and create the threat for black. So maybe a wall here at d2. Granted, you've already played two walls as white here, and that can get pretty rough. Especially when black has this big stack here to throw around and make some positive flat count differential moves. If you're wondering what positive flat count differential moves are, we talk about them in the FCD or flat count differential video of TAC University. And basically, it's increasing your flat count relative to your opponents. That is a positive flat count differential move. Playing one flat stone anywhere on an empty space is a +1 move. But if, for example, you took the top three pieces of D1 and moved them to the right onto E1, that would be a +2 move because you'd be giving yourself one extra flat and removing one of your opponents. All right, so white did play at B5. This is where black likely spreads left. I mean, black could just play up here at B6, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to be a spread left to make that horizontal threat, followed by white dropping probably a wall here at D1, or capturing left onto D1, sorry, D2, or capturing left onto D1, but I'm not sure if that capture is going to be worth anything. But yeah, I'd say you take 3C1 left, 1, 2, make your threat. No, he drops a wall up at B6. I was not expecting that. Not expecting that at all. I think he really wants to make this horizontal work in a Tinue type of way instead of making the threat, knowing that it can be shut down. Again, Klimace really likes to get Tinue, and so I think that that is what he's going for. And we see white just continuing to build for this horizontal, dropping flats, increasing their flat count differential. Dropping a wall is a 0 for your FCD, whereas white dropping these flats is a +1. Now white drops the wall here. Now, what's the play? If I'm black, what is my move? Do I just place a flat at A1? Do I kind of like the flat at A1. This is a tough one. It's a tough one to be in. Black may have sort of lost his opportunity to win this game by trying to set up that Tinue. I think that it was winnable before that moment. Hmm. Black taking his time here, starting to finally catch up to Tones in terms of time on the clock. Still has a minute and a half buffer between them, but has been playing significantly quicker this whole time. I think from here as black, I would probably just drop a flat at A1. Makes a lot of sense to me. And in the chat, we see Rabbit Boy and Alion both saying that this looks like a white win now. But yes, it was. It looked winnable for Black for a while. For quite a bit of this game, it looked like Black had this, um, but White is sneaking out. That wall, I feel like, was it had to come down eventually. Black dropping their own wall. Interesting. I don't understand what that wall is gonna do for Black, besides limit their own mobility. I would have said a flat at A1, but yeah. I guess the idea is to come up onto C3 to stop anything from going on here. Or maybe he thought some shenanigans was going to happen to give him a road if he smashed, but I don't think that's possible. I am a little confused here. I think he wanted that wall there so he could feel more free to smash. I think he was free to smash either way. But now he wants the wall to come down and get this, I guess. I guess that's his plan here. I mean, black can totally still win this. 13 for white in terms of flat count, 7 for black in terms of flat count. However, black has the potential for a lot of positive flat count differential moves. White playing up above at E6. Looks like white might be going for a flat win now. That could be what he's going for. I think black's going to come down with C2. And then we might see black spread this up and smash on D4. Yeah, a wall on D2 would really kill black. I'm not sure why F1 here. Unless black wants to capture, to place at A1 first and then spread left a little bit and then do a go back and forth and try and get a Tinuay on the bottom. But I do feel like a future crush on D4 sounds really fun to me. And that's why we see the D2 wall. That shut that whole thing down. So now there's no more smash up at the top. That D2 wall killed all chances of that. Now I feel like as black, you've got to capture onto C1. Maybe play A1 first and then come down to, yeah, A1 first. So he's going to come down to C1, spread that left or spread that up or something. So he can spread to the right with E1. Yeah, this makes a lot of sense here. He's going to come down with C2, capture left for the positive flag on differential, maybe capture up afterwards, also making the attack threat. Not just the attack threat, if he's able to come left, over, and up, that's basically Tinue, if I'm not mistaken. Not now that A2's there, it's not, but yeah, there's a lot going on here. But I do think that C2 wall needs to come down. But that A2 really shut down his opportunity for doing that horizontal down here at the bottom. Not that I think it would work anyway, because this capstone still has the opportunity to throw down and smash on B1 at any point when that wall comes left. Rabbit saying he'd go for a board fill as white to try and get the game over with, and that's a smart play. Looks like 9 for black, 15 for white. So down by 6. That's pretty huge. Black playing at F4. I don't see the point in F4. This is going to end up as a board fill for white. Yeah, white's going for the board fill. Black, it might be too late anyway, but black needs to bring that C2 wall down right now. Okay, that's a threat. Spreading to the right. Yeah, that's a threat. I mean, it's easily stopped by that wall coming down. But it is something. Wall comes down. Now it's basically all over for black. I guess you can try and do weird shenanigans by spreading right and smashing and trying to go back and forth, but I don't think that'll work because you got the capstone able to throw down to B1 anyway. So all that can get shut down. Oh, there's another threat. That wall coming left frees this up to spread upwards to go for the F3 connection all the way to A1. I imagine. Oh, we're just going to get another wall drop. White knows he's so far ahead on flat count that he can just afford to drop another wall instead of capturing with the one that he's got. That's smart. It's also working closer towards that board fill. So let's see what we got here in terms of flat count. 4, 5, 6, 7, 13 for white. 11 for black. So if they both just flat out, white wins. And there are no positive flat count differential moves left for black. He's got nothing in that department. He'd have to go for a hard capstone, self-capture, leave behind two white flats here onto B1, capture here, then do weird shenanigans after the fact. But I don't know that there's enough time for that. I think the only thing that he could do to give himself any chance would be to give himself a hard capstone here. Looks like he's capturing down. I think he's going to try and capture down onto E1 and try and play with the capstone smashing walls to create a threat down here at the bottom. I think we're going to see 2E2 minus right here. Oh no, he's making that move. Maybe he'll try to fill in an F5 and go for a road, or maybe he'll try and smash here onto D1 and go for the road smashing up above. That could work. Like it could work. It's a long shot, but it's a possibility. White just drops another wall. There's so many walls on the board here. White has 5 walls showing. 5. Black self captures here. Surprised he didn't crush D1. Crushing D1 would have been a threat. Maybe he's going to crush D1 now? But now White's able to make a huge FCD move up here, and that basically clinches it for White. I don't think Black can come up with any Tinue here. Black just dropping another flat. I guess trying to come back in flats. But yeah, White's playing another one. This is not a road threat for White, but White is able to make just a phenomenal positive flat count differential move up there. And Black does not have the time to stop it. Black, on this turn, needs to smash D1 to be able to do anything this game. But I'm pretty sure it's over and White has this one unless Black pulls out something miraculous. Oh, that gives White the win with the board fill. Black probably didn't notice that. Yep, did not notice it. White saw it, went for the board fill, took the win, 15 to 11 flats. Fun game, though. That was close. Those two guys, they went back and forth quite a bit. There were a number of moves that I thought were a bit unorthodox, I will say. And I believe Allion also thought the same thing in there. But it was a solid game. It was fun to watch and definitely interesting to see these very different play styles go ahead. And you can definitely tell Klimace is used to playing the AI because he goes for those Tinues all the time. Whereas Tones, I believe, has played way fewer games, but played a lot more human games than Klimace has. And that definitely affects his style of play and what he goes for. So a lot of fun. That was a great one to watch. But that is all for today. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out the description below for all things TAC, especially the TAC Discord server, which is the community hub and where you can find all sorts of TAC resources like strategy guides and people to play with, whether that be right here on playtac.com or asynchronously right there in the Discord server itself. You can play just one move a day if you want to. It's a great way to get in some tech when you have limited time during the day. So, thanks everybody again for watching, and until next time, have a great day and happy tacking.